what's the weirdest dream you've ever had? Our first one comes from Paradoxatron. They said, I once had this super real dream that I was a roast beef sandwich. And then someone ate me. And I just had this pure feeling of bliss and satisfaction, like I had a purpose in life. Freaking weird. Well, you know, Paradoxatron, I'm sure you do have a purpose in life other than being eaten as a sandwich, but good for you, man. CyberTej2904 said, the one in which my grandma scored a goal for Manchester United while simultaneously robbing a bank. Man, I thought my grandma was cool, but she's never robbed a bank while scoring a goal for Manchester United. Even one of those would be crazy. Our next one comes from Badly Behaved. They said, about 15 years ago, I had a dream/nightmare that occurred over 3 nights, like a freaking horror miniseries, picking up nearly exactly where it left off the night before. It was vivid and terrifying in a way that was unlike any other dream I've ever had. And although it happened over 15 years ago, certain images are just burned in my brain. A convoluted story short, my mother and grandmother metamorphosized into vampires with a bit of harpy flavor and, unbeknownst to me, begin hunting me. At the outset of the dream, I'm on foot, going in and out of shops, but as my vampire mother and grandmother close in on me, Jim Carrey arrives in a BA Corvette and swoops me up, getting us out of there just in time. The rest of the dream is basically just a horror action sequence of cat and mouse, with harpy vamps chasing and nearly catching me, well, us, and my hero, Jim Carrey, helping us get out of close call after close call. It sounds ridiculous, even funny. I cannot describe the abject terror this dream filled me with for weeks after I had it. Wow, that does sound terrifying, but honestly, I feel like Jim Carrey was there for a little comic relief for you. Those faces, man, I just don't know how that guy can contort his face in those awesome ways, but he has a serious skill, and obviously has been really successful for it. Alright, this one is from Dagobah. They said, last night I was to meet with Hitler and ask him who the second in command was. I knew it was Goering, but somehow it was Lawrence Fishburne? I was careful to address him as Mein Führer. Wow, Lawrence Fishburne. A little bit of a Matrix and, I don't know, Valkyrie mix-up going on here? Wild. The next one is from a user who deleted their account since then. Maybe they were too ashamed of this dream, but we'll see. I had a dream about finding a secret room behind the walls of my apartment. It all started with me scratching on the wallpaper where I found a wooden door. The next thing I know is that I'm having a hard time breathing and someone's sitting on top of my chest while I have a bag over my head. A laugh was heard and I could barely do anything. I then woke up and I thought that I was being assaulted and killed. Heck, I haven't had such a nightmare since I was on morphine for a week. Yeah, that sounds pretty terrifying. I always feel like the realistic ones are the ones that are the scariest. Like, you know, Jim Carrey coming to your rescue, yeah, I can see the humor in that, but being assaulted and kidnapped, like, that could happen in real life. I feel like the ones that are grounded in reality are the most terrifying. Alright, our next comment is also from another user who deleted their account, but they're starting off with morphine dreams are messed up, so it might be the same person as before. I don't know, we'd have to go in the Wayback Machine to find out. But they said, I dreamt I was at a college building being pursued by witches. They were in my room in a circle laughing, doing some ritual, and everywhere I ran to, they were there. Every other face in the crowd was one of the witches. They finished their ritual and surrounded me laughing, and suddenly shards of glass were in my hands. I was trying to pull them out, but it hurt too bad. Suddenly, there was broken glass in my throat and loads of shards in my mouth, glass needles in my gums, and I was spitting and spitting, but it wouldn't come out. I was on the ground, with them laughing over me, a big crowd around me suffocating, choking, and trying to spit out all of the broken glass, but I couldn't. And then I woke up, soaked and shaking. Wow, that does sound terrifying. I always hate the dreams where you like can't breathe, you're like stuck underwater or something, and then you just wake up like out of breath, just drenched in sweat. So random deleted user, whoever you were, I feel you. That is a terrifying dream. Our next comment is from Huge Poseur. They said, it was during a midday nap, which normally produces the most vivid dreams for me. This was also when I started trying to get lucid. I dreamed that I woke up in my bed and walked into my living room to greet someone. The dream reset, and I woke up in my bed again and I walked out to do dishes. The dream reset, and I walked into my living room only to get chased around by a small, quick monster that I never really got a good look at. The dream reset, etc. This dream reset on me 7 times. During that 7th awakening, the pattern of it finally occurred to me, and I remembered excitedly thinking, I've been here before, I'm dreaming! Immediately after having that thought, a voice that conjured up imagery of a group of men in suits and scrubs, a voice that sounded like it came from outside of my dreamscape said, "He knows! Get him out of there!" And then I woke up alone. Wow. Well guys, there you go. If it's not confirmed by Huge Poseur, I don't know what is. We are actually living in the Matrix. Our next comment is from yet another deleted account, but they said, I went to see Obama do stand-up in Germany with my grandma. Now, whether you agree with his policies or policies that he had or not, you cannot deny my man had some mad charisma. I am sure he'd kill it at some stand-up. The Cheshire Kate said, a man gave birth to an ostrich, and then me and the nurse went out for donuts. Wow, there's a lot to unpack there. I'm just gonna leave that. Alright, now we've got a long one. This is from our last deleted user. They said, I had a dream that I was living in a ninja world. In this ninja world, when you were ready to retire, you were killed. It wasn't some scary affair, it was more like people were done and were ready to die. The retiring ninja would request someone to perform the deed, and there was a big ceremony for it. They had the funeral prepared, and it was a big service. During the killing itself, the immediate family members, good friends, etc. were allowed to attend, though it was generally a private affair. Funeral afterwards was more attended. The ninja could back out at any point and it was fine. It wasn't a traumatic ordeal, but generally very peaceful. Kind of like having to put down a pet that is slowly dying and suffering. Anyway, I was living in this world and I was requested by this ninja to be the one to kill him. I was nervous and felt a lot of pressure, but knew that this was a big honor. We were friends in the dream as well, and so I agreed to do it. So I get ready and head over to the place. It's set up for a funeral, but the room where the deed would be performed was relatively small. I got there early and people started to file into the room. Nobody was crying, but the mood was somber. I sat there waiting. Then I realized I had no idea how in the world this was gonna go down and what I was gonna do. Like, was I supposed to just straight up stab the man? Was he gonna stand there and then bam, stab? Or was he going to lay down? Was I expected to kill him with some ninja jutsu type stuff? So I start to kind of freak out and get even more nervous. I am legit praying so that this guy will not show up so I don't have to go through with it. Soon enough, everyone arrives except my guy. His friends show up since he has no family, but he doesn't. They eventually dismiss me, much to my relief. I was out and about later and I ran into him. We talked for a bit and I don't remember what happened afterwards. However, I do remember just being happy he backed out of it. Also, the ninja was Kakashi from Naruto. Even though it's been a solid 3 years since I've seen it, and at that time I hadn't even been on the internet in like a year and a half. It was a very odd and random dream, though I enjoyed it. Well, I enjoyed it too. I feel like Naruto is a fantastic anime and manga, so that'd be pretty dope if you were friends with Kakashi. Well guys, that finishes up our video for today. What was the wildest dream to you? And have you had a crazy dream that didn't get mentioned in the video or was not similar to something we said? Let us know in the comments down below. Thanks so much for watching. Please be sure to like the video and subscribe to the channel, and we'll see you in the next one.